Hi Libra, here is a general look at your solar chart for July 2016, and I made another video about Saturn and Neptune and how it leads to a lot of confusion and a lot of uncertainty, which is not very helpful when we're trying to make important decisions or we're trying to get some evidence of how things are going or whatever, and maybe there's some misleading evidence even coming into us. So there's a link to that somewhere in this frame. And before I get to that, because I want to make some suggestions about how it might be panning out in your individual chart, the other video I did was taking it out into broad areas and relating it to the EU referendum and the US election. Here we've got, before I get to there, I just want to mention a few things, cover a few points. And we've got the Sun up at the top of your chart along with Mercury and Venus, and that means that this is a time for you to be aware of what others think, to try and put out the good image, the best impression you possibly can make, to be aware of bureaucracy and red tape in some instances. But I have to say, with Venus up there until the 12th, if you want to get somebody in a position of power on your side or get a good deal or something, it's a good time to do it. And Venus has been there since later part of June as well. So if you're listening to this in June, but I expect I would have mentioned that before. And also Mercury and you being able to, I don't know, parlay your way in or out of whatever situation, you know, that's a possibility there. Also, things are likely to take place which relate you back to the past or tradition or parents, history, and the overall idea is for you to be responsible and reliable and consistent as you go forward. So maybe something that was decided or embarked upon historically is very much kind of on your mind now, or indeed the die was cast then and now we're seeing like the evidence coming out now, sort of thing. And paperwork, you might be getting more paperwork as well coming your way. Then Venus moves on the 12th, Mercury moves on the 14th into the next area, which is extremely future orientated, very fast paced, moving forward in a progressive kind of a way. Maybe something that you've been waiting to happen has happened. Or you feel as though the ball is rolling now. It's really, really rolling. However, there's still the Sun in the previous area. That's up until the 22nd. So to get the full set, emphasizing this very progressive area where maybe something you've waited for is beginning to show, that would be after the 22nd. But elements of it could be showing before the 22nd, because Mercury and Venus move. And that area there means that group gatherings are favored, making new friends are favored, contacts, networking, and the like. You feel supported very much from friends that you make, or maybe it's to do with a sort of a social circle or a social circle for business. Again, it can be lucrative as well because Venus also rules money. In fact, the whole month can be like that if you play your cards right. Money and property as well. Again, if you want to get somebody on side, if you want to use your diplomatic skills to perhaps be persuasive and whisper in the ear of somebody in a position of power or influence, so they have more influence than you, then you can be doing that particularly before the 12th. Although I would say that there's still that feeling of support coming after the 12th, but preferably before. Mars is demanding you put more effort and decisiveness into getting organized in physical or security oriented. It's about the money, it's about the property, it's about the equipment, it's about the possessions, it's about the resources and capitalizing on those resources or capitalizing on assets turning them into whatever you want to turn them into for your resources. So it's very much a lot of drive and a lot of energy going into that material security orientated area, and this has been going on since the end of May, has gone on over the whole of June, and will be going on over the whole of July until the very beginning of August. Now back to Saturn Neptune. So for you, Saturn rules the root of your chart. It's about the past, it's about parents, it's about location, it's about your foundations in life, whether those are your emotional foundations or your actual physical, maybe bricks and mortar type foundations. And the current transit actually has Saturn in a really good angle to your sun sign, so you generally tend to get the upside of what was going on with Saturn, or what is going on with Saturn. You tend to get the upside, but it always and ever relies upon a planet's original natal aspects in the original natal chart. So that's why I always say this is a general view, because you can only tell how a transit is going to pan out properly if you look into somebody's natal chart properly. But you can get, that's why I try to give examples of it could be like this, it could be like that, right? And hopefully I don't err too much on the side of the downside. I try to find a balance, but anyway, maybe you can give me some feedback on that one. You'd have to send me an email, of course. So now we've got Saturn together with Neptune at the moment, so there could be some lack of clarity or confusion around the roots of life, or the foundations, or the home base, or the family, or not actual real kind of confident focus because you don't have enough facts. There's not enough evidence to show for itself, and this has been going on over June, and it will be going on over July. So it makes it harder to make decisions, really, whether that's in your personal life or whether it's about, taking a critical vote that could change the world or whatever. This transit could manifest through your service, how you're there for others, your support for others, what your skills are, and also your work, your employment as well. So again, there's this lack of absolute security and safety there because of the Neptune thing. Now the Neptune thing is actually being brought more down to earth by the Saturn thing, because the Saturn thing is very close to the Neptune thing by degree at the moment. So what we could get with the two energies integrating like that is to be doing a job in a way that you genuinely enjoy, or providing a service because you really love to do it, and you can be creative and engaged, and maybe it's to do with the home base as well. Maybe it's like DIYing, and that way, no matter what it is you're doing, your work will automatically serve the community, because anybody who really takes pleasure in their work and feels satisfied by their work or their service is radiating out a really positive light from themselves, no matter what that is, unless of course they're gun runners, and then that just absolutely blows my theory out of the water. But anyway, hopefully you get the gist of what I'm saying. Oh dear, but they can't really be enjoying it. I mean, deep down they know that it's gonna wreak havoc. It's not something to laugh about, is it really? But this world is so serious, isn't it, at the moment? So anyway, if you are doing as much of that type of thing, or maybe it's not work, maybe it's some kind of practice that you're doing, like yoga or qigong or art, or I mean anything really, bicycling, or maybe it's some kind of training that you can do, which will make your life more comfortable and satisfying. Sorry, the camera's jiggling about a bit. in this new space here, this caravan, this little box on wheels. The floor is very springy, so I'm going to have to put a rug under it, I guess. So hopefully you get the gist of that. But again, there's this with Saturn coming in, though, it can actually help to bring things into a better focus. It can do that after a time of like ambiguity or vagueness. That could be around work, it could be around the family, the home base, it could be around health, it could be around yes, I think that's really it. Surely there must be something else. Oh yeah, and it could be around it could be around your social life. So if that's a business orientated social life, so it could be like what you can put out there to sort of tell people you're there, really. Or maybe it's around brothers, sisters, or blood brothers, or like, you know, like soul brothers and sisters. It can be like that, or can be, maybe it's to do with your communication skills, and there's something that you need to get crystal clear because you know you've missed, and then you get the wrong end of the stick. Or it can be the other way around. Somebody has got to get crystal clarity from you because you feel a danger, or maybe you don't, but it's easier for them to get the wrong end of the stick. Again, with Saturn coming in on this Neptune transit and just shoring it up and giving it some structure and giving it some clarity, now is the time for you to get maybe that certainty and that security, but you've got to work for it. Security in the interchange of information, you know, not gossip, not something vague, you know, but certainty on it, or to do with the home base, or to do with the health, or to do with the job, or to do with the skills, the training, or whatever it is. Okay. Now, we also have Jupiter in your 12th house until September, and then it comes into your sign, first time in 12 years. And this, at the moment, is a good time for winding certain things up, but doing a lot in the background. You know, a project, an enterprise, nurturing practices as well. This is very much a time for healing and nurturing the consequences of the past, good or bad. And this is a time for you to be a bit more introspective about your own past and your own behavior and your own knee-jerk reactions and how they get you into trouble again and again, and probably trying harder to do something about that at this time. And you're likely to grow into a deeper understanding of yourself, your motivations, and where you get certain motivations or behaviors from, even. But also, over and above all of that, I would say, although the two of them pretty much equal first, is to be that on hand for others, to be the supporter in the background, to be pulling the strings from the background, very much so. And trying not to be your own worst enemy either. So Libra and Librans born the 8th to the 16th of October, or with 16 to 23 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most this month. That's Jupiter. And then for Saturn, Librans born the 1st to the 4th of October, or with 9 to 12 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most. And then for Uranus, the 14th to the 18th of October, with 21 to 25 degrees, lots of surprises coming in there. You having to be very flexible and open-minded, and just keeping your wits about you, but on your toes. And then we have Pluto, much slower now than Uranus. It's affecting, mostly influencing the lives mostly of those born the 7th to the 10th of October, or with 14 to 17 degrees rising. You're going to feel the energy of that the most this month at the very, very foundations of your life, as well as Saturn. No, as well as what I was saying before, anyway. And that's it. That's everything for July. If you know your rising sign and your moon sign, listen to those. And also, as well as Mars, actually. And if you want to read any of this amazing copy that I've got here, it's on my website, DianaGarland.com. And I'll see you the next time.